Hey everybody, this is Mr. Trotter here. I'm really tiny today in the little box in the bottom. I wasn't a fan of yesterday's video, a lot of audio syncing issues. Yeah, I think the smaller I am, the more my lips will actually look like I'm saying something. All right, so for today's lesson, just a reminder, we're not going to be using calculators for this. This is all going to be mental math. And we're going to start with three different types of problems. Three different types? There's going to be three different types of problems, three of each. The first set is adding three numbers with 2, 3, and 4 digits. So we have the first way they're written out horizontally. I have 19 plus 2,886 plus 265. So what we want to do here is rewrite this. And the way some people may rewrite this is it may look like 19, 2,886, and 265, and adding them up that way. Do not do that, ever. Okay, you do not want to line them up on the left-hand side. You want to line them all the way up on the right. So the 9 lines up with the 6 and with the 5. In fact, it looks a lot neater when I do this ahead of time. All right, so once you have rewritten numbers and with all the ones columns lining up, 965, the tens column 186, my hundreds column 8 and 2, and my thousands column with just a 2, you're all set. So when we add these together, we're going to make sure that we are looking at the first two numbers together. I have a 9 and a 6 together. That will be giving me 15. Put 15 over here. 15 plus 5, I'm going to get an answer of 20. So I'm going to take that 20 and put the 0 on the bottom, and I'm going to carry the 2 to the top of my tens column. From there, I'm going to take 2 plus 1, 3. 3 plus the 8 is 11. 11 plus 6 is 17. So I'm going to take this 7 and I'm going to put it over on the bottom. And then I'm going to put the 1 over on the top of my hundreds column. So I can take 1 and 8 and add those together to get 9. 9 plus my 2, I have 11. So I'm going to take the 1, the second one, put that over underneath the bottom of my hundreds column and bring the 1 up on the top. And 1 plus 2, I get an answer of 3. So my answer is 3,170. Now to liven things up a little bit, I have some really bad jokes. So the first of them, what do you call a hippie's wife? Mississippi. Get it? Yeah, they're bad. On to the next problem. Again, we're going to add three-digit numbers with 2, 3, and 4 digits. The problem we have is 578 plus 24 plus 1,588. So again, you do not want to write it down by saying 578 plus 24 plus 1,588. This is not the way to do it. Instead, you want to line up all the ones columns. I'm lining up the 8, the 4, and the other 8, so it looks very much like what I have here. So when we're adding these up, we're going to start again the same way. I'm going to have, I feel like doing this one in green. I'm going to have my 8 and 4, add those together, which gives me an answer of 12. 12 plus another 8 gives me an answer of 20. So I'm going to take this 0 here and put it on the bottom, and I'm going to bring my 2 up to the top. I can take 2 plus 7, I get an answer of 9. 9 plus 2, I get an answer of 11. 11 plus 8 is 19. And I'm going to take this 9 and bring it on the bottom and carry the 1 up to the top. 1 plus 5, I get an answer of 6. 6 plus the 5 is 11. So I can take that 1, bring it down on the bottom. 1 goes up to the top. 1 plus 1 is 2. So I have 2,190 as an answer. And now it's time for another really bad joke. I don't like that one. What do you call a man with a rubber toe? Roberto. No. All right. Last problem, which means you're going to try this one on your own. So why don't you do that now? And now let's work out our answer. So 786 plus 91 plus 5,296. We're not going to write those over lining up that way. We're just going to go skip right to the way they should be written down, which is this way. we could take 6 plus 1, add that together to get 7. 7 plus 6, I get an answer of 13. So I'm going to take this 13 and bring the 3 on the bottom. 1 comes up to the top. 1 plus 8, I get an answer of 9. 9 plus 9 is 18. 18 plus another 9, that's going to be 27. So this 7 comes down on the bottom, and I'm going to carry the 2 up on top. 2 plus 7, I have an answer of 9. 9 plus 2, I have an answer of 11. So the 1 is going to come down on the bottom, and the other 1 up to the top. And then we're left with just doing 1 plus 5, which is 6. So hopefully you had an answer of 6,173. Going on to, oh, and when you're putting those answers in, make sure you don't put any commas in, because if we're writing this out, technically it should be 6,000 with a comma afterwards, 173. But when you're putting answers in on the video, it should just be 6173, no commas. All right, next type of problem we're going to work with. Subtraction involving 3-digit numbers without regrouping. Now, without regrouping, that means these are going to be pretty quick and pretty easy. I think I skipped a joke, but I think you've had your fill for now, maybe after this problem. So I'm going to take 857 and I'm going to subtract 621. And again, I can't do this left to right. I want to rewrite this. And I'm going to write that with my 857 up on top. And the last digit here is a 1, so I want to make sure that lines up all the way on the end. And it fits in just nice and neat. Now these are going to be a little bit easier. Like I said, we don't have to do any regrouping. The next set we will, but for this set we don't have to. So 7 minus 1 is going to be a 6. 5 minus 2, we have an answer of 3. 8 minus 6, I have an answer of 2. So 236 would be your answer. Next example. Again, we're not going to have any regrouping on these, but this one looks a little bit different because I have a 3-digit number and a 2-digit number. So I'm going to start by rewriting this with my 186. And since 6 is my last digit, 2 is also my last digit, they need to be lined up on top of each other. So then I'll put the 3 down as well, my subtraction symbol, and then I'm ready to go. I'm just going to move this up a little bit. So 6 minus 2, I get an answer of 4. 8 minus 3, I have an answer of 5. 1 minus, there's nothing here, and if I have 1 and I take nothing away from it, I end up with 1. So I have 154 as an answer. And it's time for another bad joke. What do bees do if they need a ride? They wait at the bus stop. All right, so this is the second example I just covered, which means the third one is up for you to try. So 796 minus 283, you're doing this without a calculator. And why don't you try that now? All right, now that we've given you some time to put your answer in, I'm going to start rewriting this problem. 796 minus, I have that 3 in the end, 8 and 2. So when I do my subtraction here, I keep changing the colors to liven it up. 6 minus 3, I get an answer of 3. 9 minus 8, I get an answer of 1. 7 minus 2, I get an answer of 5. So hopefully you had 513 for your answer. All right, going on to the last set of problems. Now we're going to be doing subtraction of 2-digit numbers with regrouping. So with regrouping, we'll have to do some borrowing, and I'll explain that. So to start off with these problems, I have it already written out the correct way, top and bottom. We're not going to be doing side to side. We don't have to rewrite this one. So when I'm working with this problem here, I'm going to start off by doing my 8 minus 9, and that's not going to work because 9 is larger than 8. So what I have to do is borrow from this 8 column here. So if I'm borrowing 1 from it, so let me back this up here. It might be easier to say. I have an 8 here. It would be easier if I change this 8 into an 18. So now I have, actually, I really don't like that at all. There we go. I have my 88 minus 39. I'm going to change this 8. I'm going to cross the whole thing out and make it an 18. Now, where did I get this 1 from? I'm getting the 1 from the digit to the left of it. So in this case, if I'm borrowing 1 from 8, that is 8 minus 1 now. That now becomes a 7. So now I can do my subtraction. If I have 18 minus 9, I'm going to get an answer of 9. And then 7 minus 3, not 3, it's 4. 49. Now what some people may do is they may, and I'll rewrite this again just so we can see this, what not to do. Some people will do the automatic step of saying, oh, I'm going to borrow from the 8 here, and I'm going to change this to an 18. And then they forget to borrow 1 from the 8. And in that case, 18 minus 9, you get the answer of 9. That would be right in the ones column. But then they do 8 minus 3, and they get an answer of 59, which is completely wrong. So make sure if you're borrowing from the tens column that you take 1 away. So let's do another example. Before we do that, I think it's time for another bad joke. What do you give to a sick lemon? Lemonade. No. All right, so let's stick with subtraction, 2-digit numbers with regrouping. Again, I'm going to start with a look on the end there. I have 5 minus 9. 9 is bigger than the 5, so what I'm going to have to do is borrow. So if I'm borrowing, I'm going to borrow from this 8, which means I'm going to change that to a 7. And then this 5 can become a 15. So again, I took a 1 from the 8, making that a 7, and put it in front of the 5. So now I have a 15. 15 minus 9, I'm going to get an answer of 6. 7 minus 6, I'm going to have an answer of 1. And we're done. Not too bad. So the last example is the one that you're going to try on your own. It's 42 minus 27. Why don't you try that now? And we're back. So hopefully you did solve this problem the way I'm going to go over it right now. 2 minus 7, I can't do that. So I have to borrow from the 4. So I'm going to change this 4 over to a 3. And I'm going to take that 1 I borrowed from it and make this 2 into a 12. Now if I have 12 minus 7, you should get 5. And 3 minus 2 should get an answer of 1. And we're done. So you're going to have several problems on Schoology to solve. Make sure you're doing that in addition to the ones on this video. If you have any questions, if you look on the main section of Schoology, you'll see that I have my office hours. So for today and Thursday, I believe my office hours are 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and then 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. And then on Friday, I stick with 11 and 2. So if you have questions, make sure you're stopping by. If you're having trouble signing up with Edpuzzle, stop on by. Usually it only takes a couple minutes, maybe even seconds, for me to look through and figure out what's going on that's wrong, and then we'll work through it. All right. Good luck with those problems.